Hey lads and ladettes, lasses, lassies, ladies, today we are going through the top reasons why Ireland might not be a country for you. Or it depends how much it bothers you. Especially I know that I couldn't find any real information about Ireland while I was moving here. Everything was so generic. So first and foremost, the current economy situation in Ireland is not the best.
Mom, can you pick me up? I'm scared.
Boo-hoo, neither is it in the rest of the goddamn world. And people are just looking for the first one to blame, so don't take it personally. So like as everywhere else in the world, some people just won't like you for the way you are. Yes, that happens here also. Taking that into consideration, the first one to blame in people's minds is either Putin or the expats or the European Union, maybe Britney Spears, I don't know. And okay, everybody needs someone to blame. And yeah, specifically in Cork, I know that like maybe every third person in the street is actually Irish, or it just seems like that. But I can certainly say that there is a lot of foreigners over here. And yes, it's true, there's a lot of homeless people in Ireland. Maybe it's something I don't know or understand, but I've seen only a couple apartment complexes. And certainly if that number increased, we would have a lot more space to put people in. I don't know, dig holes in the ground, make hobbit houses, or maybe just use the old houses that only God knows who they belong to. At that point, maybe even the rent wouldn't be so high that I have to compensate it with my kidney, since there's a price on demand thing going on in here right now. And there we go, two birds, one stone. This is just my opinion and I'm rambling, so correct me if I'm wrong. If you like this video so far, like it. If you didn't like it, there's a dislike button for that too. So, thank you. Other thing, until I ferociously fought to become a part of the Irish community, I was in hell. I didn't know anyone.
I'm okay. No, I'm not.
Everybody was so cheerful, but it took me a while to find an Irish friend. It was so hard, but to actually get someone Irish, especially at this breaking point of theirs because of a lot of foreigners in their country, it was a nightmare. It's really hard. It's on a hi, how are you, and goodbye, see you later basis, thus making it really hard to embrace their culture, what they would like. I would like to know more about Ireland. I would like to know more about the Irish people. Help me preserve your culture over here instead of me bringing my own culture out of sheer desperation for some kind of approval and acceptance in another country. Instead, I'm this close to learning Polish and I'm making a chicken paella right now. Now I hope so that I didn't make anyone angry, and I hope that I didn't offend anyone. I'm sorry if I did. And I would really like you to subscribe, not because I want to be famous, but because I want to create a reasonable community over here that you can be a part of. Again, that's just my opinion, so here's a perspective from someone that didn't find Ireland so satisfying until later on. There's this one thing where people are constantly complaining about the fact that they are being treated bad at work because they are foreigners. Now, I'm not saying that's completely untrue, but most of the time it's a load of bull. Some people think that for some reason they can move in this country, do whatever they want, whenever they want, and how they want it, and they expect a raise within a week. Well, like nowhere else in the world, your job does not guarantee you anything. It gives you a good chance over here to make it right, to do your job as you're supposed to, and to make the best of it, and then maybe get a raise if you're good enough. And like anywhere else in the world, you have to strive your best at it. Now, when we are talking about healthcare, there's a billion institutions here and you are waiting for over a month on a simple checkup. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's loading Ireland's profit. And on the other side, they're trying to bring in more people in the healthcare system from outside of Ireland. And you see where I'm going with this? Okay, so to lay off the politics and stuff like that for now, I want to talk about the Irish weather. There wouldn't be a video of Ireland's downsides without a little bit of weather. So the weather seems bad. It looks the worst, and sometimes you feel like it's the worst, but it's not that bad actually. And during the summer you got pretty hot and warm months, and you got sun. Of course, during the winter time you're gonna go through a cold or two. It's normal until you get used to this weather. For me personally, I had to get used to the wind. And the most important thing is to have proper clothes, maybe use an umbrella or not, but just you have to be warm, you have to keep yourself warm. And even if it doesn't seem like it's gonna rain, be prepared. So the weather actually can be nice, in Cork at least. And yes, it's raining very often, but I don't feel like the rain is the same back in my own country and here. It's just different. I can't really completely explain it, but it's different. Trust me, this is not the rain you're used to. But yeah, the rain does not really bother me anymore as long as I have a good umbrella and a good pair of shoes. Other thing, if you really want to go and explore Ireland, you're gonna have a pain in the ass exploring it without a car and a driving license. I'm not complaining. Okay, that's normal. But maybe if I could book a driving test in the next 8 months, that'd be cool. That would be really cool. And even when I do get it, I know how much trouble I'll have with the traffic congestion over here. There was a few times in a cab even where I said, I just told the driver, stop, I'm gonna get out right here and I'm just gonna walk. Yeah, it was like that. And Cork isn't really a big city, but that's up to Ireland's roads. And for those of you who do possess a driving license, for God's sake, look into how to use it and how to make most out of it. It's gonna help you a lot. Do that as soon as you get used to the fact that you are riding a car on the opposite side of the street. Now, the real version of job opportunities in Ireland. Yes, there's a lot of job opportunities in Ireland. Only one thing is that certain fields are really competitive. More people, more expats, more skills, more experience. Don't let that crack you. At least you can find a job in any other field until you can find a spot for your own. So just so you know, you won't have a job falling down from the sky for you. Now don't get me wrong, it's definitely easier than in my own country. But if you have certain expectations and Ireland does not meet them, you're gonna get kicked in the balls and you're gonna be flying back to your own country in no time. Without a kidney, of course, because you've paid rent with it. But before you do, you're probably gonna go for a few pints of Guinness. Few. What does few mean? If you start off or end up with the Irish folks, oh boy. Oh gee. Now this is a saying that we have back in my country and I'm gonna try and translate it right now. The Irish can drink as an instantaneous water heater. Now I don't know how much you know about water heaters, but the most important thing is that they are tankless and water just flows through them. Now, if you understand me. So if you have a problem with alcohol or alcoholized people, you're gonna have trouble with that here. I'm not saying there are no sober people here, but there's a lot of drinking involved. Now I don't know why nobody's ever talked to me about that, but the Irish don't like to talk about leprechauns. As I've understood, they find it somewhat offensive to them. So just avoid that, don't bother people with that, and if you are interested in small, mischievous, fairy people, search about them on Google, don't bother them. And do your taxes, for crying out loud, or find someone to do them for you. You don't know how many people just don't bother with that, or don't even know that they can get a tax return, and then they're making a big deal out of, oh, taxes are high and it's impossible to pay everything. Use everything to your advantage that you can. For an instance, there's a whole load of people that didn't claim their tax back for renting an accommodation in the past year. So yeah, you can get up to a €500 tax back if you rented an accommodation for long enough in the past year. And a lot of people don't take that. They don't even try. They don't even know that they can get it. Take the goddamn tax relief, damn it. Don't miss out on things like that. Now I could go on and on about the living expenses in Ireland, but I won't. And you know why? Because I came from a country with far less spending capacity. And you know what? Ireland's worst cost of living crisis is about the same as the end of every single month back at home for the past 15 years. So I hope you enjoyed a little bit of reality, and for those of you who are coming over to Ireland, I really hope that you are not letting go of your hopes and dreams rather than just taking up on a challenge and realizing that money, jobs, houses, they don't just fall off the sky for you. And sometimes you just have to appreciate the experience rather than just going straight for the goal, and then when you get to the goal you find it that it's not really what you thought it would be. May you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. Goodbye.